I know it's not Christmas anymore, not New Year's Eve, not nothing, but I just can't give up on this Christmas aesthetic and this Christmas feeling and vibe, because I can't. It breaks my soul. I just love Christmas so much. My favorite holiday, my favorite part of the year, my favorite everything. Christmas is just what keeps me living on this planet, between some other more things. So in this video, even though it began so happily, I'm going to end quite sad, because I'm going to tell you about the trilogy that made me another person, literally and figuratively. I don't know if you know, but it's called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I think I got it here somewhere. 1 second. Yeah, it's here. There's another book behind this camera. Okay, so here we go, our whole family. I have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Good Girl Bad Blood, and my currently reading As Good as Dead. My 3 babies, 3 friends. So first of all, I didn't even know why Holly Jackson would put her book's name A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It seemed the most weird title that you could ever put to your book, even though it's not a Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Real, it's not even Guide to Murder. Then, only when I reached the 3rd book in the series, I realized what is called that way. So yeah. First of all, I liked Pip. I do like Pip. She's the best character formed, and even, you know, it's so weird. 2 different things, 2 separate things. Reading as a reader and reading as an author. Now, I am in the group of reading as an author. I'm also a reader. I just extremely love to read, but I'm also an author. I currently write my book that I hope with all my soul, and I pray to God that I will finish writing it this summer, and by the end of this year, the year 2024, beginning of 2025, it'll be published. I just pray to God that this will go just like I dreamed. So reading as an author, it's so more complex and hard than reading as a reader, because I try to pay attention to every single little detail that comes in the book, every tenses that the writer that writer I currently read, for example, Holly Jackson, uses the tenses, the verbs, the adjectives, nouns, building of the character, a place set, a description, everything, and it's so complex. The book, believe me, it's just not a murder mystery trilogy. No, it's more complex than that. Every book is very complex. And first of all, when I started reading as a child, everything seemed so easy and funny, and when I started writing my own stories at 11 years old, when I was 11, yeah, everything seemed so funny and simple. But now, as I grew older and I started to write my proper book, it began really complex. And there's another fact that Holly Jackson began to write her wrote her first book at 15, so maybe I'm lucky. Okay, so yeah, it's very complex. I like the structure of the characters, I like the sets, everything has a connection, everything. It's very good in perspective of my perspective as an author, and I really like it. To be honest, I haven't finished the third book by the series. I was like, putting here some quotes that just, the third book I think is the best. It blew my mind, everything, every theory, and believe me, I have my life, I've listened to 1,000 murder mysteries podcasts. I've watched a lot of crime documentaries, true crime, and even fiction. Also, my favorite series is murder mysteries. Favorite author, Agatha Christie. And so everything in my life has been related to true crime podcasts. There's a podcast that I don't remember its name. It's called Solve the Murder or something like that. You'll see it here on the screen. So everything is related to this, and I usually know what happens next, who's the murderer, so I can tell. But in this book, believe me, I didn't even know. Ever I couldn't possibly find out. No, I couldn't. So it is mind-blowing and breathtaking and everything. I am at page 376 at the moment in the third book by this trilogy, and it just, I cried. I literally cried at this one. So I got more like quarter of book to finish. So yeah, the first one was happy. Pip was happy at the beginning, and then she turns out to be, I don't want to spoil it to you, you really need to read this trilogy of books. I don't want to spoil it to you or give spoilers or something, but it is mind-blowing. It's incredible. It, believe me, it really is a good girl's guide to murder. Even though I didn't believe it, I think no one ever believed it at first, that it could be a good girl's guide to murder, but it is. Whoa, now that I start thinking about it and talking about it, it seems so weird, so yeah. So back at our story. The thing is, reading as a reader, it's much more cozy, simple. How do you want it? Funny, you know, like a reader reads a book just like for fun, because they like it, because, you know. But a writer, an author, if you want to be an author, you have to read lots of books. You have to read lots of authors, to read and pay attention to every single detail, tenses, nouns, adjectives, everything. And also it is very important to get used to more writing styles, you know, writing models, I know how to call them. For example, I have one here, I don't know if you see it, Lemony Snicket. So I've got the whole Lemony Snicket series, a series of unfortunate events. I also have the series with Who Could Be at This Hour, no, not this one, All the Wrong Questions. I got 3 from, I think there are 4 in the series. I got going to show them to you, but I haven't read these ones yet. Who Could Be at This Hour, When Did You Last See Her, and Shouldn't You Be in School. So yeah, the thing I like about Lemon is that he has a different a way of writing. Just, I haven't seen such creative writing in my whole life. And, you know, first of all, you don't, as a writer, a new writer, of course, you might say, oh, but it has all been written, everything. No, darling, it hasn't. I'm sure in the back of your mind there is just one little spark idea that is worth writing. So there's this quote that I live by, is do something worth writing or write something worth reading. Mind-blowing. It's very spectacular and very complex, this quote. Even it's just 2 lines, but it's very deep and it has that scented thing, you know. Then, for example, Holly Jackson writes her books in the perspective like of a camera. She is not taking part as an character, but she's like a camera. She sees everything, but she's not seen by anyone. Just like Lemon Snicket, but on the other hand, Lemon Snicket, it's a character as well. I mean, we all know, if you've read Lemon Snicket, A Series of Unfortunate Events, which you really have to because it's lovely. I love it, one of my favorite series ever. Yeah, she's good, and of course it has all been written, but not, scratch that, reverse it. Like Wonka, I've been kind of obsessed with that movie, as I've seen it 10 times, and I was in public once and I started singing the Oompa Loompa song, and it was so embarrassing. Like, I was there and I started Oompa Loompa. Never mind. So, no. You have to develop your own style of writing. Maybe just take one bit from here, one bit from there, one bit from there, you know, because, and you have to put your personal fingerprint on there, let's say. And it hasn't all been written, like it hasn't all been discovered. For example, when I was little, I wanted to be an archaeologist, and my family didn't quite approve that. They said, oh, what are you going to find, because everything has been has been that all other people before you has been discovered. And yeah, I kind of gave up on that dream. I was quite young, and but the thing is, you don't have to give up on your dreams. Like, again, from Wonka, every good thing in this world started with a dream, and that is very deep and very strong for me, and I think for all of you to hear that. And I really think that you don't have to give up on your dreams. Like, I really, and you have to believe in your own powers. Where I will be a good and great writer. I'm sure I will, because I've always wanted to be a writer. I've always wanted to be someone's favorite author, and maybe one day, who knows. So yeah. And the thing is, just like overall, read these 3 magnificent books that also, yeah, I don't know, it's weird, just we bookworms do that all the time, smelling the book, because every book has its own specific smell. I don't know, but I can make difference. It's like that, and I kiss books. I don't know, just a tick, weird one. So this trilogy, A Good Girl's Quiet Murder, Good Girl Bad Blood, As Good as Dead, very mind-blowing. I'm still so excited to finish the 3rd book in the series. I'm going to tell you how it was when I finished the whole book, but I just cried a lot at this one. So yeah. Also, Lemon Snicket, if you want something else to read, Lemony, I'm going to show it to you once a bit of a second. But I can't get all the series because there are 13 books. 13 books! I think I've read the series for 13 books less than 5 months. And this author, Lemony Snicket, He took more than 4 years, 5 years to write this mind-blowing series of books. Well, I can show you these, but I've got more editions because I didn't buy the whole series from one shot. This is the first book, the series. They became thicker and thicker at the bad beginning. I like these things at the beginning when it says, for Beatrice, darling, dearest dead. You'll find at each beginning of the book one this. Beatrice also is a character. I don't know if she's a real human being, but whoa, it is very good constructed. Then there is another two that from another editor, yeah, from the Netflix. I've seen the Netflix series for like 5 times. It is very good, very good. I recommend it to you. Like this. This is the Reptile Room and the Wide Window. Then this all from book 4 to book 13. I don't, yeah, from book 4 to book 13. Well, another editor. They look like this. So I'm not going to show it to you, all of them. You can search it online, whatever, if you like, if you want to read them, it doesn't matter. Okay, so because then I have to clean up, and I don't really like a mess here. It's just all, there are a couple of books down on the floor, and I don't like messy things. Look, I began to talk about Holly Jackson, and I don't know how I can talk all by myself. It's just so freaking weird talking by yourself, recording and like talking to a ghost or something. Very weird. But I did talk to myself a lot of times. It's just a good thing, you know. Psychiatrists told that it's a very good thing, and you develop a good part of your brain by talking to yourself. I talk to myself in 3 languages. This is very creepy, you know. I switch languages all the time, from French to German, from German to English. It's very weird. And I also learn other languages, but I'm not right now very fluently in them, but I have a couple of words and phrases that I use all the time from those languages. Also ASL, which I began to learn 1 year ago, and I'm not too fluent in it either. You know, it's still sign language. Whoa, how can I talk so fast? I don't even know. Well, yeah. Then, just because we're on the book side, and as I've said, I only like true crime, but I have only one freaking book for my whole 2 pieces of bookcases that is not true crime. This one, Call Me By Your Name. Okay, yeah, Call Me By Your Name is not a true crime, and I would recommend it for every types of readers. It is very beautiful written, and it is, I like this book. I like this book so much, and I told you in the perspective of a person who only reads true crime, so like it's very good. This book, I bought it because first of all, I've seen the movie Call Me By Your Name, but was with Timothée Chalamet and Armie Hammer, and I've seen the movie, and I thought it was like, wow, it is so good. And I found out it is based on a book, and I bought the book to see how good it is. It's by Andrew Eisman. When I saw it, I was like, oh, it is very, very slim, very little written in there, but like 200 or 300 pages, I don't even know, 250 pages, something like that. The thing is, it is so complex and so beautiful, this book written, that I think I've read this book in 4 days. Yeah, in 4 days. I began it on Monday, and something on Thursday I finished it, but I couldn't put it down. I couldn't put it down because it's just so beautiful and wise, and it's just, this is a miracle of a book. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love it. It is beautiful. Also, as I've told you, if you haven't heard of this book, you can Google it online. It is LGBTQ romance, I think. Yeah, it's a LGBTQ romance. So, but it's lovely, very good, very beautiful. I like it so much. And as I've told you, I don't read true crime. But this is one of my favorite books ever. And it's so hard to choose your favorite author and your favorite books, but this is really my top 10 reads. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it to you. And also watch the movie because it's spectacular, believe me. I don't know what should I talk to next. I was like, you're just 20 minutes already. Okay. Oh god, also classic Jane Austen. Carrie McManus, I really do love her. Carrie McManus. One sec. Can't reach that shelf, too high. One sec. Okay, ready. So I've got a whole series by Carrie McManus, which is a sweet person. You can even tell if a person is sweet or not by how they write. If they're authors, if they're bibliophiles and bookworms, they're really sweet person and kind persons, believe me. And there's one tip that I'll give you: don't trust a person who didn't browse a book with them. So yeah. First, oh, there's so lot of them. I like that they're so colorful and pretty. Just like, they're very pretty. But I didn't buy them for that thing. We have One of Us is Lying. Whoa, great. Even though I was very disappointed by the Netflix series, the adaptation of Netflix, it just below my expectations. You know, when I really like a book very much, I don't quite watch the movie. It depends, of course, it depends by the actors, but that's not the sort of thing. Like Little Women, after I read the books, I saw the movie because it was with Timothée Chalamet, one of my favorite actors, so like, yeah. But this, I watched the Netflix show 2 times because it was kind of fun, and it is very short. But I wouldn't recommend the Netflix adaptation. I would definitely recommend the books, but Netflix, not too good. Because I made a cast in my mind and it was just very different from the cast they made in the movie, you know. Like, for example, for Nate, I casted Timothée Chalamet, like that part of character when he played Kyle in Lady Bird. I don't know if you saw it. You really need to see it. I'm also a cinema lover, so yeah, I would on this channel I would really recommend books and movies that you really need to watch. Then for Andy, I casted Elle Fanning, and for Bronwyn, I casted Selena Gomez, and for Cooper, I don't remember who I casted for Cooper because I read this when it was published a couple of years ago. So yeah, but it was also an actor. I don't remember his name right now. So yay. It's very different what you read from what you, but this is very good. If you haven't read this book, and I dubbed it, but you really need to. There are just 5 kids, colleagues, walk into detention, only 4 came out alive. School can be a murder. One thing, my personal opinion, school is a murderer. So yeah, it is very good. Mind-blowing, good setting, everything. I would give this book 5 out of 5, definitely, all the time. Love it. Then I don't know in which order they came. They're a trilogy, also a trilogy with this. It is the next one. One of Us is next, and the other here, the 3rd book, One of Us is back. which also here the first book I like the most, and then I like the third book. Very they have different covers because they're different editors. Because this one I bought when it came out, just that freaking day. I went to the library because it was only limited stocking, and I went there and bought this book that I really love. Lovely book. It came out 27th of July 2023, if I'm not wrong. Hope I'm not. Okay, you really need to read this trilogy. I wouldn't recommend the second one. I didn't like it at all. It just stopped in the middle of the action. Very upsetting, I would say. But if you don't read the second, you can't make the connections between what happens in the third book. So the third book is worth reading, but you have to read the second book first. You know, that's a trilogy. So yeah, the second book of this I would rate with a 3 out of 5. I think I didn't like the second one, but the third one is worth reading, so yeah, go ahead. Then we have The Cousins, which is a really lovely book. I like it. I like about Karen McManus, she doesn't have books like bricks, you know, very big. I like very big books and books like this, you know. I don't like very small books and middle-sized books. Weird, you know. As you see here, this is a brick book. That's what I call them. I don't know why. So yeah, but this one, it's very beautiful. Karen McManus style, like all secrets, just she gives clues. It's very interesting. I separated this book. It was very good. Also, she has a little bit of teenage romance in each of them. That's what I like about her. She's not just strict on true crime and that's all. She has a bit of romance in them. It doesn't matter, just straight romance or LGBTQ romance. So it's really good. I like this book. There are just 2 more. Here we go. You'll Be the Death of Me and Nothing More to Tell. Have I told you how much I love Karen McManus? Because I don't remember. I don't recall saying that. Yeah, she's a great authoress. I like her. A great writer, a great author. She's lovely. Not going to talk much about this. If you want a little bit of a summary, you can Google it online if you want to, but first you need to start with One of Us is Lying, then continue with the others. Between these two, what I liked, Nothing More to Tell, I think was better than this one. Worth reading. This is also worth reading, but afterwards. I think this is the final book that you want to read. This one, very interesting, very weird, let's say, and it's you know, I don't know if you, for people, now I'm just going to talk for people who both read what is this? No, I talked about this book already. I'm going to talk to people who also read Karen McManus and Holly Jackson. I don't know, but I think they have similar ways of writing. Even though, okay, you might say, oh, but Holly Jackson writes on third person and Karen McManus just first person, like she's the characters, but she's all of them, like she's all of the characters, you know. But you know, that's what I like about her, because in One of Us is Lying, no one is lying in their own heads, you know. She's writing from each and every character's perspective, so there are only 4 characters in their own minds. That's when I realized that they couldn't be the killers, because you wouldn't lie to yourself. If you killed a man, you would say to yourself, even, you know, be trustful with your own person, even if you don't say it to others. Okay, even though, but I think they have similar Nice. And also they follow each other on Instagram, and when I've seen that, it was like, oh my god, my two favorite authors are friends, so like, yay. Yeah, so yeah, I think I began to talk. I wanted in this vlog to talk only about Holly Jackson, and here we go. I talked almost about my favorite books from my library bookcase. So yeah, just to make a revision would be Kiera McManus, all her series, worth reading, love her. She is a great human being, kind-hearted soul. Begin with One of Us is Lying if you want to begin her series. Okay, then Lemon is Naked. We have Lemon is Naked with a series of unfortunate events. Very good, not childish at all. If you would say, oh, it's childish, no, it's not. It's very good, very lot of plot twists. I really love this series, and you have to read them all, because if you skip one book, then you will get a bit confused. Even though Lemon is Naked makes a revision in the other book, like for example, you haven't read the second book, but in the third book he will make like this connection with the previous one, and he'll tell you a bit of a revision what happened there, you know. But it is good to read them all. Lemon is Naked, a series of unfortunate events. Then we have Holly Jackson with her trilogy, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, followed by Good Girl Bad Blood and As Good as Dead, which is also very lovely, but get some tissues, be prepared to cry a lot. So yeah. But also I realized at the third book how important little things that we just don't see them every day, like family, how important it is that you breathe, how important it is the sun that rises every day, how important it is all these things, how important are all these things, you know. Like, Pippa only focused on school and on her grades, and then she realized that she lost almost her life, her friends, her family, that just they were there for her, but she didn't realize it. And I think I can recall to her. I can relate to her. Yeah, I can relate to her, because I used to be this freak and obsessed with everything that was related to grades, and then I began so stressed, and I almost made a diabetes. I also have this health problems, health issues, and I became very weak, very frustrated, almost anxious and depressed. And the thing is, they are just grades, they're just school. It doesn't quite matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. School, high school, the thing that really matters is college, and you have to do the college that you like, you know. So it doesn't matter one grade, 2 grade, 3 grades, whatever. The grades are just numbers. Like, go to hell with them, you know. They don't matter. The thing that matters is the family, your health. Like, you can, you know. Then, because I haven't finished the revision, Call Me by Your Name, love it. I would give it 157. I don't know, it's just the best. I love this book. I love the movie. I've seen the movie for 15 times. I've read the book twice, and I think I'm going to read this book again in my closest holiday that is about to come. This is very summerish. I mean, I've read it in, I don't know, it was winter, or no, it wasn't, it was fall. I read it in fall, and it gave me this feeling that it was summer, that it was all free, and it was very good. I'm going to read it again in summer because it is better. It has this feeling, you know, being there on the beach, the seaside, with the sea in front of you, everything so calm, and reading this romance book, it's, what can you want more from life? Oh, and here I finished talking because I think I'm going to work out a bit, because you really need to work out not only for your body but for your brains, because I really feel kind of a tension, you know. So this is all. Be prepared for the next book vlog that I'm going to record. Bye bye.